Going to an Ivy League low-key you up. If you didn't get into Harvard or whatever dream school you wanted to get into, this is for you. If you did go to your dream school and you're kind of out here floundering and flopping and not really knowing why life hasn't totally worked out for you yet, this is also for you. Hi, I'm Eric. I'm a counselor and a graduate of Harvard.
I'm just preparing myself to not get in. What the
Welcome to my channel. Please follow along to the podcast. It's about the mess, the confusion, and the crises of quarter life. So Harvard rejections come out today, and I would imagine for the thousands of 17, 18-year-olds who had this dream, that dream is now crushed. And that sucks. And I'm sorry. Why do we make kids go through that? I get to sit down and talk with my friend Ben Sworkin. We went to Harvard together, we graduated together, and he has built his career on being a college consultant. So whether you need a little bit of a pick-me-up if you're feeling down in the dumps because you didn't get into the school, or you just love the sound of my voice, follow along. Let's get into it.
It feels like the rat race never ends. And so there is some sense of, even if I'm the best student in my school or in my district, like that's not enough. If you haven't found success within a year in something, like kids are not continuing into 10th grade. Kids are not doing debate to get better at public speaking. They're sticking with debate because they're already verifiably
Interesting.
good at it, right?
The problem with defining who you are at 17, 18 is that you're probably wrong. People I know from Harvard, either they continued doing the thing that they were always doing since childhood and high school, and they're thriving at it, and that's their thing, but that's a minority. Or they chased kind of success in who they were in high school and wanted to do that same thing, and then realized, oh, this is actually not who I am and not what I like doing at all, and then had to basically start over and come back into understanding who am I, which can be really daunting too when you're in your early 20s. You feel like you chased so many things to be the best on paper, the most competitive, and you don't care about those things that got you in anymore. I sometimes chose to do things because I just felt like it was going to get me farther.
Yeah.
And that wasn't necessarily helpful.
Right. No, I landed at Harvard like trying to recreate my high school self. I was 5th grade class president. Like I've never lost.
No. You were, yeah, wow, yeah. Right, like, you were undefeated.
The Harvard prototype.
Since 04.
I'm so grateful for it. Getting rejected from this big fellowship my junior year that I thought I wanted to win since I was 17.
Wow.
And I ultimately ended up doing the graduate program that it would have funded anyway. Going through rejection, going through hard things, like even if it is terrible and it doesn't work out the way you want it to, like ultimately is a formative experience.
I am a firm believer that losers who lose early come out winning. Okay, I feel like I just ate with that one. The other problem with getting accepted into your dream school and then going is that you kind of hit pause on actually deeply reflecting on who you are and what it is that you want. Why? It's like, finally, I got accepted. This is what I've been chasing, and finally I can take the back road. But the reality is life doesn't just kind of unfold for you. You still have to understand and know what you want and keep chasing. Like the grind in this respect never stops.
The grind never stops, but it can stop if you want it to, and that's what's cool about the grind.
This show's crazy.
Which is another reason why people who graduate from these schools have to have like this huge existential crisis or dark mental health period. They realize I wasn't actually aware of what I want in life besides wanting to be successful. Whereas people who lose early or understand and are in the practice of losing, it's gotten them closer and closer to opportunities or experiences that actually do feel good for them.
Went to my first concert in my senior year of college. I was like really into music when I was in high school and like didn't make time to go do stuff like that. Some of my kids I work with I really love because they are still living a 17-year-old life. Having hobbies and interests that have nothing to do with trying to better yourself in a profile kind of way or as a college candidate, like is what you need to do. I don't have a ton of home friends anymore. And I don't regret it, but I imagine an alternate version of my life where like when I went home, I had people who I really wanted to see and keep up with. Achievement kind of alienates you. And sometimes, you know, it's for the greater good for your career, but it also like makes you lose touch with pieces that matter.
People who go to Ivy Leagues often have up values, or in the journey and the chase for success, they don't actually do things like check in with their friends or their family or understand what makes them happy, like for leisure, or what their hobbies are, because they're too busy being in the world of I need to get further to propel me to get a really fancy job or make a lot of money or have this high status thing. I am super guilty of this. I at 27 am just now understanding how to just be, instead of just constantly chasing and constantly working hard just for the sake of working hard because I don't want to fall behind. And that is a very difficult way to be when you feel like you aren't enough and you constantly just have to be doing more.
To this day, I'm like, maybe I would have made a different choice if I was prioritizing like happiness and not falling into the trappings of developing a mental health crisis and all that Harvard generally gives you by the time you leave. Like, I picked up and moved here like because I wanted to be with my partner, right? And I wanted to live somewhere warm, like, and fun, where I didn't want to like hate my life. I could have never imagined 17-year-old me making a choice, prioritizing a relationship or prioritizing my happiness. Like, you don't think about that when you're 17, but you really should.
I'm very happy that I went to Harvard. I'm very grateful for my experience and I loved it there. But plenty of people look back and they're like, that was not right for me. And that place f***ed me up. Being in the constant pressure cooker where everyone's comparing themselves to you, even in social life, that can honestly take a big toll on you. Whereas if you go to a different school, maybe you're a big fish in a small pond. Maybe you meet people who aren't as crazy and maniacal and don't need to be famous, for example, to be okay with who they are. I would imagine that that'd be a lot more grounding.
You know, if you have the desire and the drive to achieve great things, you will achieve them. It might be a longer time horizon. It might be in a different way than you imagined. But if you are already feeling that kind of energy and motivation at 17 or 18, that's going to propel you, you know, way farther than you think.
I also know people who just like, they're 26 now and they are just so in fear of rejection that they won't try something different.
And when you went to Harvard or you were on this track where you have been good at everything, of course you're going to drop pottery after two attempts. So actually, people should do more things they're bad at. Not everything is about how you are at it. It's about whether or not you enjoy the process, whether or not you find fulfillment in it, the like actual minute day-to-day of it. If you've never set yourself up to fail, or you've never done something that you're not good at just because other people are encouraging you to, or you want to break out of your shell a little bit, like, you're always going to be afraid of rejection, and you're going to stay at a job you don't like, and being bad at something or not getting what you want in the end is not the end of the world. Like, allows you to take more risk. Try starting your own business, doing something creative, right? Like, you have to be okay with it not working out, or else you're never going to do it and miss out on the opportunity of it maybe working out.
You are going to spiral. You are going to feel like you flopped. Whether that happens at 18 or that happens at 28, it will happen. Going to an Ivy League like Harvard, I wish I knew this. It will not give you the answers that you want. It will not solve all of the uncertainties of who you are and all those deeper philosophical existential questions that only you can answer. A lot of people who go to Ivy Leagues, after they get their cushy job, they look back and they're confused because they chased success after success after success after success to try to get there sooner, wherever there is. And then they look back and they're like, okay, I have money. Okay, I have status. I'm not really fulfilled though. And that's when a lot of people just randomly decide to have kids. So yeah, if you didn't get it your way this time around, your feelings are valid. Your feelings are valid. But there is so much value in getting an early L and not having this stick up your butt. Through failure, you get to understand what is for you and what is not for you, instead of just putting yourself out there and trying to chase every little success that you can get. That can get really exhausting really fast. Think bigger, think creatively, think about, how can I use this as an opportunity to really define myself as me, this individual who is fantastic and amazing and awesome and a baller in all of these ways outside of that. Be a part of the dialogue. Subscribe, follow the podcast, because this is for you. We're talking about the real that is quarter life and adulting. Okay, bye. Whoa!